Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Natto and Samantha Perry with you. It's the first Saturday of the Royal Palm Meet. We're happy to have you aboard for 10 races on a fast and firm day. You can see the flags got a little wind to it. It is a beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We hope to see you out here. And I want to start right off the top because in about 3 minutes or so, the old Stanley Cup that the Florida Panthers, the reigning NHL champions, Stanley Cup's going to be here from 12 to 3 o'clock today. That's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a huge deal, and it's really exciting. I'm not even really a sports person, as we know, around here, but this is exciting. This is so fun. I got some history about it from Phil in our office, who is a bit of a connoisseur with all the names etched on, and it's exciting. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, the boys in the office, Phil, our buddy Phil, our crack
team captain Ron.
Yeah, and Ronnie's amped up. They were trying to get an early peek at it. Ron's going to have an interview actually as well coming up right around first post or before or after. Okay, Thank you. A little bit after the first race with the gentleman that kind of chaperones the Stanley Cup. So this is
what a job that would be.
Yeah, right.
That'd be
this
fun,
is a big deal. And of course, right here, our Florida Panthers won it last year, and they are poised to make a serious run at a repeat. So that's from 12 to 3 today, up in 10 Palms. Check that out. A lot of history going on there. But of course, the racing today, Rainbow Six is
eventually we'll get there.
Eventually we'll get there. I promise you. We're a little later with the post as well. Just take note of that. Looks like we adjusted a little bit. Dubai World Cup Day today. Want to wish Il Miracolo a good run over there. Steel Sunshine, our buddy, apparently ran fourth.
Yeah, and Amisel Jaramillo with the second place finish in the Golden Shaheen. So
pretty
very
cool.
exciting.
Yeah, Gulfstream flexing its muscles all the way around the world. But back here, I promise, $500,000 in the estimated jackpot in the Rainbow.
Yep, and it continues to grow.
Yep.
Don't forget, and we'll remind you that a week from tomorrow is that mandatory payout. But, Brian, be big pools today. Some bad, unfortunate weather across the country. Please be safe wherever you are. It seems like a lot of places are underwater, and I hate to gloat here, but we've got a beautiful day and a great card.
Yeah, just everybody stay safe. Keeneland will open tomorrow. The weather in Lexington was horrific.
Yeah, and now Oaklawn looks like it, too.
A lot of friends around the country, so we hope everybody's dealing with that as best as possible. Let's kick things off, though, here in race number 1. You see about 55 minutes to post. We're about 5 minutes late today. This early pick 5 will start on the turf course. Rails out at 10 feet here. Not a lot of scratches and changes. The only one in the opener, Mika Husbands, no longer a 7-pound apprentice, a 5-pound apprentice. And Mika set up to have a good Royal Palm meet. Let's take a look at the early pick 5 here. This is an odd ticket for me. You can see we're expansive and then we're tight. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. I'm 5 deep there with the 9 on Moonlight Bay on top. Then we get a lot tighter. 47 in race 3. Denver's Alley on top. The 4. Single in race 4. And that is the 5. Maxine Magic. And in race 5, Toto Fino, especially with a scratch of his stablemate, who was possibly the main danger. Toto Fino, boy, it could be about 1 to 5 in there. So here we go for $20. We'll kick it off on a firm turf course here. 17.5 maiden claimers. I mentioned Mika Husbands on the 1 will ride at 113. Take note of that. These are 3-year-olds and up. 17.5 is the tag here, and I thought it was a relatively difficult race. Samantha, see where you went in this spot here. Did you pick Oscar Worthy?
I did.
You
did.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't. I picked Ocala Rocket. Sorry.
Right.
Nope, sorry. Yeah, Ocala Rocket. Well, we'll look at the replay here.
We can start by showing you why we didn't pick Oscar
There you go.
Worthy, okay?
Yeah, maybe that's a good way to put it. In last run, hey, this horse has a big shot today, too.
Oscar Worthy did no running at all. I know he ran second. You're going to think I'm silly for saying that. But the horses that were 7, 8, 5 early were 1, 2, 3, okay? So at the line. Yeah. You know the race fell apart. Here comes Oscar Worthy down on the inside. He doesn't do any running at all. He got a dream trip. He was in the one path the entire way, and he just sucked up for second. Last run is the horse that ran the big race here.
Yeah, the fact that he hung around was really impressive in this spot here. And I think what's important to note, too, with last run is he's got the speed, and that will play. We saw on the flags there, looks like a bit of a headwind today, and I just feel like whenever you've got that speed hitting the top of the lane, sometimes it's hard for those horses to come up with you.
You know, last run was 20 or 15 to 1 last time. He is a legit threat to forget to stop today under Renzo Rojas. But we're all going elsewhere because of what we just showed you with Oscar Worthy. The 7 Ocala Rockets got races if he gets back to him, he's a player.
Yeah.
We'll see what he's got today coming back from Tampa.
Yeah, I thought the Tampa race was a decent effort at least. And look, this is his group now. This is the first time he'll run on the grass for Jorge Delgado, which is significant.
Yeah, I think that is a big deal. Victor Barboza just never could get anything working with him off the claim. We'll see what we get today. I'm on the 8.
This is interesting,
Yeah, so here's another one of these horses now. We talked about this yesterday. The championship meet is over, okay? A lot of the big guns have left. The turf racing's still going to be really good, but this kind of turf racing, I'm not so sure about. Smooth and Easy, 55-1 and 100-1. The last 2 times he was on the turf, those races, they kind of sort of fit with this group today.
Yeah, they do. I was just looking like John the Baptist came and finished really nicely behind Salted Caramel a few races back. So I think that you're onto something here. Now it's just a matter of, does he have run?
Right. Doug Saylor, 3 wins at the championship meet as well. So this barn has kind of had a pretty solid, for the stock that Doug has, pretty darn solid year. Let's take a look now at the early pick 4 race number 2. It's a 1.70 on the Tapeta and what is a $50,000 maiden optional claimer. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, a clean 10-pack here. I'll tweet out the ticket a little bit later on. It's simply a run back. I thought, Samantha, this is one of the more difficult races on the card. And to prove my point, I went 5 deep in my picks here, and I don't have the 6 anywhere.
Oh, you didn't have that anymore? Okay.
Not anymore.
No, okay, perfect. This is a prime example of how crazy this race is. I thought Accelerated News, who you don't have anywhere, this filly, well, one, she's 4 years old.
Right.
So the good news about that is she's 4. The bad news is she's carrying some more weight due to that fact of facing some 3-year-olds here. But the Tapeta race on debut was good.
Wasn't bad at all.
No,
it was
but no speed, and that's my problem with her.
Yeah, bad post that day as well, but she hasn't run poorly in that spot, and maybe that makes her a player in here. I'm all over the place on Moonlight Bay on top. This is a maiden special weight dropper for Anthony Margada, and now she's going to route on Tapeta for the first time in a while. I know it was with the Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher. Her 2 Tapeta routes were really good.
Yeah, they were. They really were. I have her starred, so I was going to put her in my top 4 at some point. Blinkers go on to, and she's a 4-year-old as well. So I still think this time of year, I know we kind of maybe differ opinions. I still think it's maybe a little bit of an advantage.
No, yeah, I agree.
It's starting to not be.
It's starting to not be, but it's still early in the year, and you got a lot of 3-year-old fillies in this race. The speaking of which, a lot of them come out of the Starship race on March the 6th. I didn't show the replay because there's nothing to show, really. The winner ran off that day.
That's true.
But Chit Chat was in second that day. Smooth Claret was in third. They're players in here.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
they are. Yep, they're big players for some reason as well. Lindsay Smiles didn't show up at all that day, too. And I don't think that you should give up on her just yet because we see this circling in and out of form quite a bit, but I think she's going to need a lower drop in class
Yeah,
here.
I agree, too. She's going to have to run for a tag, and that was a state-bred maiden special weight for 3-year-olds. So these gals are looking up at some of these in here, to be sure. Race number 3, we'll go 5 on the Tapeta. It's a $25,000 starter allowance. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We've got a scratch of the 2, Jay-Z's Last Chance. Samantha starts it with the 7, Warda, on a big class drop.
Yep, this is a big one, a barn that has done very well with the claiming 2 new acquisitions in the barn, and they claimed this horse for 12.5, and then they bumped her up in class and has actually done quite well with her with the 2 third-place finishes. But I feel like against this field here today, there's no My Wife Knows It All, and that's just a really heavy-hitting horse. Wait Till Midnight Hour is as well, so I think this is a much better class.
Clearly the horse to beat. If you're not in the loop on the Carlos Narvaez barn, this is a barn that kind of sort of from nowhere had a big championship meet, and I have no idea why it would stop now, especially running in these kind of races. Warda to beat, to be sure. Let's show you Denver. We'll show you Royally Blue, Not Guilty, and Denver's Alley. 2, 3, and 4 that day in that order. But to me, Denver's Alley's the gal I want out of here because I'm not sure, Samantha, if she's going to have to work as hard up front. I like Paco getting aboard, and I think too, a half a furlong cutback, when you go from 5.5 to 5 and you're a speed horse on the Tapeta, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. And I like that you picked her on top. I still had her in my mix. If you're playing the early pick 5. This is certainly a filly that you need to use because she looks like she could be as loose as she wants in here, honestly. And that's huge in a race like this, especially we see these warmer temperatures now. It's harder to make up that ground, Brian.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Mike Lerman and Paco Lopez will team a little bit later on with XY Speed as well in a good turf sprint. Let's go to race number 4 now. That ever popular middle pick 4 is in here. We'll go $170 on the Tapeta, and what's a 12-5 maiden claimer, 3-year-old fillies. Just a change now of the weight on the 7. Love Lady Bolt gets in at 113 with Mika Husbands, now a 5-pound apprentice. Let's just take a quick look at my ticket on this middle pick 4. I used 2 in here to spice this up a little bit. Toto Fino, again, the universal single for what I would assume a lot of people. Race number 6, that also kicks off the TT pick 3 and the late pick 5. I've got 4 deep in there. I've got the 7 on top. Bring the band home. I always did have him on top. 4 scratches out of that good turf race, unfortunately. And in race number 7, to get out of that sequence, I go with the 4, Soar Richard, who's back on the Tapeta for the first time for the debut for Anthony Margata, who's set up to have a pretty good day if things break right for Anthony, and that's always good to see. Let's kick it off here, though, back in race number 4, as I mentioned, 1.70 on the Tapeta. You know, Samantha, I don't want to call it a match race, but you can see your morning line at 8-5 and 9-5, Grand Sticker and Maxine Magic. They're the 2 in here, right?
Yeah, they've got to be. We'll show the replay here of Grand Sticker and
Splash Drive's
in here. But Splash Drive, the main part is we'll show Grand Sticker. Grand Sticker made a really nice middle move into this race here, and this was a big field. This horse had to do. She had to do a lot, kind of looping the field, which is what you want to do. But that was her first time going 2 turns, Brian. And this is only her second start. So the fact that she ran this well for a barn that usually first and second out is a little bit slower. She was defeated by her stablemate, and man, she gave them a run for their money.
You saw there late, too. If you're kind of new to the party here, if you're just joining us, you're not familiar with the Tapeta racing here, that's kind of the move you want, that looping move. And if you saw it there in deep stretch, you can see what we talk about quite a bit. The middle paths on the Tapeta in the stretch are best. It's a statement of fact, and you could actually see it. You could visually see it there because Grand Sticker was really coming on again at the end when she got back outside. And that's the type of trip you want. Routing especially. Speed's better sprinting. Routing especially. Stalkers really have a big say of it. And that's Grand Sticker. I went with Maxine Magic. You know, they're oddly, they're like the same exact horse on paper. They both still have upside. Maxine Magic herself was beaten a neck last time.
Yep. She was. It was a tough race as well. And she's got a little bit more race experience. And what I liked last time is I felt like she was involved a little bit more earlier on too. And you want to be. You can't make those huge moves with not a lot in the tank left.
Splash Drive's got no speed whatsoever. I'll give a quick mention to the 1 CC Girl. She ran for a quarter 2 starts back in what was a pretty fast race for the level on Tapeta. I don't think she's good enough to get to the gap that the top 2 have over these, but she's interesting.
Underneath,
underneath if nothing else on the drop. 10 of them for you here on a beautiful Saturday at Gulfstream Park, Stanley Cup Saturday here at Gulfstream Park. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Ronnie will be out of here a little bit later, but he's got his rainbow updated. It's $500,000 in the estimated jackpot. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you on a picture-perfect Saturday afternoon in Hollandale Beach. The first Saturday of the Royal Palm Meet. Stanley Cup, we have heard, has arrived. You can go up to 10 Palms. Check that out today between 12 and 3 p.m. Get a look at history and get a look at something the Florida Panthers, the local team, is reigning NHL champions. But Ronnie Nicoletti's kind of a Rainbow Six champion of his own right. See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Ron's got an interview with the keeper of the Stanley Cup coming up too after race 1. That's pretty cool. But he was busy updating his Rainbow Six because there's $500,000 in the estimated jackpot today.
We'll take a look at it. Unless you want to keep talking about the Stanley Cup.
No, I think I'm done with the Stanley Cup for now. But I am going to check it out. It's pretty cool.
All right.
Look at this all ball.
Oh, wow. So you never see Mr. Ron Nicoletti with the all ball. So this is, he must be really excited about this Stanley Cup. You see his single in race number 8, and that is the 4 Soldoro. And I think you said you like this filly a little bit today as well for Christophe Clement. Race number 9, he's got the 3, 8, and 9. Those look like the major players. The 9 misprint for Liz Dobles is knocking on the door of a win, and in the finale, oh, what a good one it is. He's got the single-minded for Chad Brown, first-time starter. We are back, young man, for Mike Maker, and our superhero, who was second behind a next out winner yesterday. So 6480 Quizler, that was.
I like the Soldoro. I saw 2 starts back. I don't like the Soldoro I saw last time.
Yeah.
So let's we'll see what we get from her today. We'll show you her debut. It was breathtaking, to be sure. Ronnie's a bold man because Toto Fino is going to be. He could very well be 1-5 in this opening leg. 6 furlongs on a fast main track, 4-year-olds and up. This is a race that got hit by scratches. The 5 Walt Whitman is out, and the stablemate of Toto Fino, which I think only flatters his chances that much more. Mayhem in the Palace is out as well. He was even on the morning line with 6 of them. He might be, like I said, if Toto Fino runs his race, he's 1-9 in here.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and he was hard to beat already with the rest of the field, but now with scratches, and we'll take a look at a stat too with Amador Sanchez that I think is significant. Allowance to claiming, 53% in the money. This is just on the dirt, 18%, 3 for 17. This isn't a move you see a lot here, but just the field he faced last time out. Oh my gosh, Air Combat would absolutely run a lap around this field.
Let's just be fair, at least, because we're gambling here, and you're always allowed to look for something else. This is a horse that is 13 for 23.
Yep.
He's grade 3 stakes placed. He's in for the absolute bottom today.
Yeah. It's not a good sign, for sure.
No. Now, to be fair, he was in for a quarter 2 starts back, and nobody at Delta wanted him.
Right.
Which is shocking.
Right, yeah.
To me.
Exactly.
I don't know if they put one by or what, but nobody claimed this horse at Delta Downs for a quarter. And Amador Sanchez, he does this. He goes over to Delta and bops over there and wins races.
He does, yeah.
They're telling you to claim this horse, but listen, he's just eons better.
Yeah.
The 4 underneath Golden Skull for you. His main track form is not that bad. He would be if there was no Toto Fino in this race, he would be a major, major win candidate.
Yep, he would. This is a good post position, too, now that it's a condensed field.
Amor Lejano for Louis Duco. It's all Tapita of late, but he does own a couple main track wins.
He does. I just think he'll need a race. He's one that the main track form is a good one. You've got to dig a little bit, but it is good form. But I think that this is a good starting point for him.
Yeah, without a doubt. He hasn't run since May. David Baracco
he's
aboard.
Gonna need a race.
David Baracco's got live mounts today, tomorrow, and Thursday as well. It's good to see. Samantha's busy here. Late 5 in the TT pick 3, kicking off in a $70,000 handicap on the turf. It's the Go Cats Go, and you go because you've got a couple tickets to show.
Yeah, we'll look at the late pick 5 first. This is a little bit more, and maybe we can lop one of these off here, but I'm starting with my best bet, and that is XY Speed, race number 7. I've got the 7 on top, Billionaires Road. This is maybe the race I could cut down, Brian. I didn't know if I should keep a certain couple horses in here. Race number 8, I do have the 6 on top. That is Starship Impulsive. She's my long shot play. I know we lost a horse in that race, so we'll see. Race number 9, I have the 9 on top. That is Misprint. And in the finale, I've got the 5, Folktale. I'm going back to Folktale today.
I am too, actually.
All right. Okay. So $72. I might lop one off here. And then here's the Tropical Turf pick 3. Same situation, except just the only difference is this is a $3 minimum wager, just our last 3 grass races on the card. And hey, I'm starting it off right here. I like this horse today. I love XY Speed today, actually.
Well, he's a cool horse. Unfortunately, the Go Cats go 4 scratches out of this race. Full of Nito, a long shot scratch. The Speed of Yes I Am Free is out. The 6, the 8, Panther Island, Stablemate is out. The big scratch is Iman because he won last time off a layoff. But for the most part, the main contenders are still all here. XY Speed was your 7-2 morning line favorite in an absolutely wildly competitive race. Whoever you like, the prices go down. But let's show you him. This is a great ride by Paco Lopez.
Oh, this was a fantastic ride here because where he is right now, there was no panic, never not without a plan. Never not without a plan. There we go. Because everything just fell perfect into place here. And what I like is he sat there and he waited and he didn't panic. And then boom, as soon as he tips out, he'll switch his lead right there. And as soon as Paco punches that button, he's got it. And there's just no getting him. Now, Biz Buzz has been claimed since that second place finish, has won since that, and we can talk about him when we get to him. But XY Speed, I think, is drawn perfect for this race today.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if XY Speed, and he's now 9, so maybe it's a little much to ask, and that was really good anyway, but if XY Speed gets back to the XY Speed, big trouble for the rest of these because he was so good, and Mike Lerman, credit to him for getting them back around. I did always have Bring the Band Home on top, and I'll tell you what, the scratches to his outside and inside are not going to hurt his chances either, because when you say Yes I'm Free is out in his sub 43 speed, everybody else that wants to be close early gets helped immensely. Now, he hasn't been out for quite some time, but he's got good turf sprint for him.
He does, and I think you make a good point as far as the pace scenario goes in this race now, because with that speed out, he looks like he could be aggressive here and take the first run on everybody, especially if he breaks quickly. Now this looks like a tune-up race to me, honestly.
It's quite possible.
Yeah,
no
because
doubt.
I feel I think 5.5 is more his style, and maybe getting him in New York in the summertime is probably the end goal here. But here's the thing: Paco's not going to let him go easy. That's I don't think he's going to get him too far out of his sights, and that's the problem.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, XY Speed, he's got more speed of late. I don't know. It's a good post for Paco. There's no doubt about it. Horsepower almost blew up the board at Tampa last time for Orsino in DJ, and Joe opts to leave him in.
Yeah, I think it was a huge race.
It really was.
You see Vungu, I think 4th, 5th maybe, and in Dubai earlier today in the Alquaz Sprint. But horsepower, this was a big effort from a horse that I think we're going to start seeing the best of now as he's getting older. He could be the new XY Speed in a couple years.
Yeah, he's only run 10 times, so he's got a lot of upside. Let's take a look now. Amon is out, unfortunately. He won the Silks run from all the way out the back. Poor Reef Runner. He finally thought he got there, only to get nailed here. Biz Buzz as well. Reef Runner just, oh boy, he gets beaten a dirty nose in this spot in a race where, like I said, I think everybody thought he had it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him. And I want to say this about Biz Buzz, because I'm against him today. I was against him this day as well because he was coming back very quick off the claim, and he's a 6-year-old and he needs LASIK. So it's good that he gets him back on today. Of course, like Brian said, Amon's out now. Reef Runner now from the rail. Not a lot of speed. You're going to have to send it in.
Yeah, he runs the risk of getting shuffled and kind of vacuumed back a little bit. This is terrible. If you have the 4, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You deserve his trophy.
Yeah,
or
that
like
was
that.
very unfortunate.
He keeps running well. He keeps just missing
can't get there,
just can't get there. But he's a big player in here in a fun race. That's race 6, the Go cats go. Race 7 kicks off the late pick 4. We're back on the Tapeta in another one of these maiden optional claimers. Of course, the Florida breds don't need to be in for the tag here. Maidens, 3-year-olds and up. The 1 Replevin, this is kind of a big deal to me. The Replevin is a gelding
Yes,
now.
he
Okay,
is,
that's a
yep.
big deal. And again, the 6 in at 113 with Mika Husbands. Quick look at my late 4, and then we'll get back to it. To be perfectly honest, I probably would have added Replevin if I had known this earlier as a gelding, but I left it as it is. I still don't really like him down on the rail. Soldoro, my best bet of the day. The blanket in race 9. Official winner, the actual pick is the 10 on the outside. Be Here Now, and we'll spread in a good turf maiden special weight in the finale. I've got the 5 Folktail on top, 45-1 last time. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him today in what is a very, very good race, I think, for the level at least. $36. Back to the opening leg here. A lot of different ways you could go in this spot. You've got a 7-2 morning line favorite. It's a wide open, if not 2-1, excuse me, wide open race. You're going to come back to Billionaires Row. We'll show the replay. I don't want to be too hard on him. I kind of thought he should have.
You picked him last time.
Yeah, I did. I thought he should have won.
Well, what did you want him to do?
Not blow a 2-length lead in deep stretch.
Yeah, but that was his first start. He was, look at the fractions. I don't think you can beat him up too much
No,
with this.
I just thought he should have won.
Yeah, but this is a barn. I will say this, the Trombetta barn, who the winds, they started off a little hot and then got a bit cold there. Incoming, correct me if I'm wrong, has had races.
He had.
Yeah, so I think you can give him a little more credit.
Yeah, he's worked really well since then,
Yeah.
too. And you could honestly, I don't want to beat this down too much, but he was mired in the 2 and the 3 path there, and the winner's coming down the center of the track, and you could see him laboring a little bit.
Yep.
So Paco, keep
He's
him
drawn
outside.
perfect
Yeah, he's drawn
today.
perfect today. I just didn't want to take too short a number on him. That's all. I'm in the 4 Soar Richard, who you need to dig a little bit here, but for my money, well, it's clear as day. His best race ever was sprinting on the Tapeta in his debut.
Yeah, it was, and so that's a good sign here. I don't like the blinkers on move.
Okay.
I don't know. Just for a 4-year-old, I guess you just try something. I think that it's going to be the class drop is what's going to be
Yeah, without a
pertinent
doubt.
here.
I mean, you look at these races he's coming out of, and he's a big player in here. El Goody is the 5 for Ronald Coy. We haven't seen him in a little bit. It's a trainer switch from Pletcher. This, if you're not familiar with this barn, this is a solid barn.
Yeah, it is, and that's a good sign there. It's just a matter of, can this horse get the right setup? I think that Billionaires Row is going to get the best of it with the speed, but
Yeah.
what do you do with the Danny Gargan horse too? We've got a stat here on Instagram that I just wanted to show because Instagram's first time out, not so good.
Yeah.
82%, 5 for 82 with first time starters, and this horse has been working okay. Worked 10-1 at the Facing Tipton sale. I haven't seen the horse breathe since then. There weren't any works in the afternoon of the horse on First TV. But, just not very – the Instagrams haven't been very precocious.
No, and I feel like Instagram was maybe the last OXO horse to win on debut, too. They just, to me, I don't know, they just never seem to win on debut. I'd fade, but watch the tote board on that. Race
definitely.
8, yeah, a good one on the turf. Race 8, it's an optional claimer for the 3-year-old fillies here. The rail's out at 10 feet. It's a scratch the 1. Kind of came in late. Scratch the 1 Oxar. We got that right before we came on the air. We'll start with you, Samantha. You said your long shot, Starship Impulsive, and stretch it out today.
Yeah, I love that. To be honest, I was shocked when she won at 5. I was so ready to see her stretch out to 2 turns. And what I actually like this move by Steve Dwoskin because she got the win under her belt. They tried her again. The Tapeta. She's a big filly, this daughter of Improbable. She really has a lot of size to her. I don't think that the Tapeta is going to be her play at all, but I love this 2 turns for her.
Let's check a look at Soldoro, and this is the debut because to be perfectly honest, she was a major disappointment in her last start. I don't know why she didn't run better. It was a very slow race for the level, too, so it leaves me with a little trepidation, but I'm going to give her credit to get back to this debut race. She's my best bet of the day. This was breathtaking the way she did this.
Yep.
She's the 1 horse. Thanks, Bob. And Irad was aboard here. We're going to tip out and run into the breach off the far turn, and it was like a rocket ship.
It really was. This was one of the better first-time starter performances we saw all championship meet, especially on the grass, I feel like, Brian, and the way she just shot through. And this was as a first-time starter. The horses don't usually win like that. So I think that coming back, they didn't get greedy with her. They didn't put her in a stakes. They put her right back in for an allowance tag. And I think that, an allowance race. And I just think that she kind of paid the price a little bit for that dominating win.
Yeah, she ran okay. She was third that day.
She still ran well.
And they walked on the front end as well. So it took her out of her game a little bit. Paco aboard today. I got a feeling he's going to get a little more speed out of her today. I wouldn't want to take too short of a number. Hopefully we can squeak out, $6 or $7 on her. Race 9 on the Tapeta at a mile and a 16th to kick off the late double here. Fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up. Our tag is 10. The 2 inside horses are out. The 1 Sonnet's Name, the 2 Cosia. Mika Husbands again. 115 on the 8 Wicklow Gal. It's a race you could go all over the place, and it's at least that's what we did on top.
Yeah, a misprint for me just has that stalking speed that I like. I like this post position. This is a race, you said it. They're kind of all coming out of the same race. So don't get pickled, misprint, be here now. Yeah. And she's just the one I'm spreading. I don't have the strongest opinion here.
She was the 6th horse I used on my late pick 4, so she's in there. For me, I'm on the 10, be here now. She wasn't far behind misprint. Her form is, I thought that was a good run because it was her first time stepping up at the level.
Yeah, it was, which is hard to do, especially when you get that non-winners of 3 under your belt. So the fact that she was still where she finished was a good sign in third.
I agree. Race number 10 wraps it up on the turf, a firm turf course with the rails at 10 feet. State-bred maiden special weight here for the 3-year-olds and up. Again, the only change, Mika Husbands at 113 on the 9 curved. We're both on the same horse. It's my long shot. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I put her at 8-1 on the morning line. I don't know if she's going to be 5-2. I don't know if she's going to be 12-1. Because he was 45-1 last time. I don't know if he was going to win, but he was going to be a lot closer.
Oh, yeah, he was. There was a lot of trouble. The fact that he finished second was really impressive all on its own. We would have had to show you the whole replay in order to really get the grasp of it here. But he ran exceptionally well first time out. It's not easy to debut going 2 turns, a mile and a 16th, and he did it very, very well. He should be really sharp today.
Yeah, tipped out very wide on the far turn and ran on nice. He didn't threaten the winner, Childa J, who's okay. This is a significant class rise, though. So I think the verdict, is the jury's still out a little bit. We'll see. I want to show you the race with our superhero because I do feel this race goes through him. Yep. The problem is his post is just not good at all. 3 of them coming out of this race.
Yeah, and that's not ideal. Now, I will say I think it's flattering that Quizler came back to win the finale yesterday. Or maybe it wasn't the finale. It was. Quizler came back to win yesterday. But We Are Back young man ran really well here. I thought that he was possibly going to win this race. Now they put blinkers on. We Are Back young man. He was right there. He gave it away late. And Quizler had a lot more races than the rest of this group. It was I don't want to say it was Quizler's day, but it kind of was actually that day. And Quizler was a maiden claimer at one point. So I think that if you look at the Folktale race and you say, okay, well, that was for $25,000, but you look at the Quizler race, well, he was in for a tag at one point.
And he was too. Yeah, that was off the claim for Kelly Breen that day.
Right.
They're all 3-year-olds in here, by the way. What about the 3? Single-minded. That's the kind of the old elephant in the room because it's Chad Brown and Seth Klarman with a big work, and they paid $80 for a win, and they get to run against Florida Breds today.
Yeah, that helps, but we'll take a look at a stat here for the barn that just is, not great. First-time starters and turf routes at Gulfstream. Look at that.
Remarkable.
Yep.
Remarkable for a will-be Hall of Fame trainer that is rewriting record books on the turf. Says to need a race, but with that being said, this is a Florida bred they paid a lot of money for. It's worked well. So I would assume, and I like that Jorge Ruiz is going to get aboard as well. Let's take a look at the lightning round before we send it upstairs with the scratches and changes, as we've kind of mentioned, but we want to do it one more time. The Stanley Cup is here, up at 10 Palms from 12 to 3 o'clock today. So you can pop on up there and check it out, and that'll be pretty cool. Historic Stanley Cup from 12 to 3 o'clock today. And then you're kind of front and center on the next two, the TT Pick 3 and the Coast to Coast.
Yep, they all start in the same race. So 6, 8, and 10 today for the Tropical Turf Pick 3. So make sure to get involved. It's a good sequence, and it starts out in the Go Cats Go in race number 6. And then the Coast to Coast today as well starts off in race number 6.
Derby Day out at Santa Anita.
Yeah, Santa Anita Derby Day. Oh, it's a good one. Fun racing there at our sister track as they key up for their last prep for the Kentucky Derby. So very, very fun. I'm excited for Santa Anita's card too. So just stick around with us all day. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, compact field in the Derby, but 3 real heavy hitters.
Yes, yep, two
sure.
Baffords and then Journalism from the Inside.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Yep, that's an awesome race a little bit later. Best bet for you today?
It is XY Speed.
I
The
like
Go
it.
Cats Go. Yeah.
All right, I'm a little bit later in race 8, but on the turf with the 4 Soldoro. And how about your long shot?
It is Starship Impulsive stretching out
Okay.
to 2 turns. So in your same race.
Yeah, and I'm on the turf at the end of my long shot with Folktail. So we'll see what we get there. Hopefully we still get a good number after that 45-1 debut last time. Ronnie's here. You're going to see him after race 1 because he's going to be upstairs with the Stanley Cup in an interview, and that'll be pretty fun. But we got about 22 minutes for the opener. Happy to have you aboard on a beautiful Saturday here at Gulfstream Park.